In this video, we're going to be taking a look at everything that you need to do before the second half of the fairy event drops inside of Garden. We're going to be taking a look at everything you need to do in preparation for this new update, so be sure to stay tuned. Also, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the video. Now, I do want to say there is spoilers for this update ahead, so if you guys don't want the update, you know, kind of spoiled for you, then I recommend not watching the video because I'm going to show you guys some items that are going to be a part of this update. So stay tuned for that as well. But as you guys may know, inside the last update of Garden, we actually got the fairy event. Now, basically what happens is there's these fairies around the map that you can actually activate. They'll go over to your base, or they'll just straight up give you the fairy points. And you can actually use those points to actually upgrade the event itself. You can upgrade the multipliers, the event duration. You can upgrade a lot of stuff with this event. And then with that, you can also take your glimmering fruit and bring them over here to the fountain. Get this fountain to 100, or you have to actually deposit one of these fruits, and you can actually get yourself some of the rewards that are inside of here. And we already know what's basically going to be inside of the second part of this event, and this is where the spoiler for the update is going to appear. Well, not like a huge spoiler, but kind of an item for the update. It doesn't really spoil too much. Just take a look. So this right here is the enchanted chest, and this is going to be obtained in the second half of the fairy update. So we know that we're going to be able to get this item somehow. Now, the number one thing that I would do, like before anything, is make sure you guys are stocked up on as many glimmering type fruit as you possibly can. All right, just try to get like literally every fruit on your garden glimmering. If you can't, obviously it's all right, but just try to get as many as you possibly can because it could be used to actually obtain this new chest inside of this update. And as you guys can see right here, there's going to be a bunch of items inside of this crate, but we don't actually know what they are just yet. These could be seeds, new items. You guys get the idea. Now, at the same time that you're trying to collect as many of these glimmering plants as you possibly can, also make sure you guys are also going around the map and activating the fairies that actually spawn in, because those are going to give you the fairy points. And with those fairy points, I recommend trying to max out this event as you possibly can, just so that way, you know, the event is fully maxed out. But I also do recommend at the same time to have a little bit of these fairy points saved up, just in case there's a new upgrade you can unlock inside of this next update. So it's up to you guys if you really want to just, you know, grind out all the upgrades, or if you want to try to save some fairy points if there's anything new to buy them with inside the update, because you never know, these fairy points could be used to actually buy that chest. So it's completely up to you what you want to do with your points. You could either save them or use them on upgrades. I'm just going to try to get a decent amount saved up, and at the same time try to upgrade as much as I possibly can for the event itself, because as I mentioned, there could be new items. There's definitely going to be new seeds and items inside of this update, so just make sure you guys have some coins, some fairy coins saved up, so that way when this update does drop, you can actually buy the new items with it. That's if those items are obtained with these new points. And the good thing about getting your fruits, like collecting a bunch of them that are glimmering, is no matter what the update brings, we're most likely going to use the glimmering plants at some point, whether it's bringing them to a new area, whether it's redeeming them for something. It's just good to have a bunch of them that already have the mutation, so that way you're ready to go ahead and grab them and deposit them in the new side of the event. Also, another thing to do before this update is obviously playing before the update. I think that's pretty obvious at this point, is to join before the actual update if you guys want to get yourself a bunch of really good seeds and also really good items like the Grandmaster Sprinkler, Godly Sprinkler, Master Sprinkler. You guys get the idea. Jandal stocks the shop so much, and Jandal actually didn't do the admin commands last time. He didn't do the admin event, so this time Jandal might go really crazy with it and give out some really good stuff. So make sure that you guys are playing before the update if you guys want to get yourself some really good stocks, both in the seed shop and also the gear shop as well. Also, another thing to do in preparation for this update, this is once again another spoiler, but it's going to give you a head start ahead of pretty much everyone else. There's going to be this new item called the fairy net, and basically what this is going to do is you use it to catch fairies to get bonus fairy points. So essentially what I think that means is if you actually have this thing and you go to catch one of the fairies that spawn around the map, you're going to just get more points by having this item out. But you guys can see right here, this is actually going to be craftable. So you guys can see the cost for this that you guys can start getting right now is 1 sunbulb seed, 1 strawberry seed, and 1 harvest tool, and 100 fairy points. So that's one thing that you can craft that you can already get the stuff for before the update even drops, giving you a head start to this item. So that way when the update does drop, you can just go ahead and just craft this thing as soon as the update drops. And there's also another item that's similar called the Fairy Net V2. Now obviously this name could change, but it's essentially like the same thing, except this one, it's used to catch a fairy to store it in the player's backpack and get fairy points. So this one you're going to need to craft it once again. It's going to be 1 dragon fruit seed, 1 mango seed. You're going to need 1 of those fairy nets that I already told you guys to craft earlier, and also 250 of these fairy points. So you guys can see right here, you still want to make sure that you're grinding out these fairy points because they're still going to be useful inside of this up. So probably the main highlight and takeaway from this video is just to make sure you guys are getting as much of these fairy points as you possibly can, but at the same time, make sure you're also collecting as many fruits with the Glimmering mutation as you possibly can. So that means joining when the event happens, and also interacting with these like fairies that float around the map. Interact with them to get some extra points, so that way you stock up on as much as you possibly can in preparation for this update. If this video did help out, be sure to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all inside of the next one. Peace out and goodbye.